Hey! I realized, like, a minute ago that I hadn't changed the title of this, but we should be good now, right? Whatever. Welcome, everybody! What did you guys think of Michael, huh? It got released 2 days ago. Michael is finally out on all streaming services and literally everywhere else that you can find music, and that's so exciting to me. It's been a really long time coming. Like 3 years in the making, I think. Yay! Abram's family is here. Rosie's here with Craig. We got Colin and Lisa. It's likely going to be a bit of a smaller house today because I forgot to advertise this one. I literally forgot until yesterday because I was so caught up in the release. Olive's here. Hi, Olive. I'm so glad that you guys liked it. Oh my god, we worked so hard, and I'm here to talk to you today about like what went into writing this track. I've got another video coming out later this week filmed by my buddy Andy, who produced the track, and he's going to lead you through like what's inside the session itself, and it's so cool because he talks about like how the guitar parts were written and like what is happening here to make this sound so cool. But today we're going to do things just slightly differently, and that's okay. So I have my giraffe mug, which I found on the sidewalk on New Year's Day, and I thought it meant like a good omen for 2020. Well, there's still time in 2020, right? So I want to talk first about like how I'm gonna tell you first, I'm not gonna go too in depth on the story today because, as I've said before and will say again, I'm not out here looking to get killed. The story is not necessarily the most important part here. The feelings behind it are. So I had a coworker who was really mean and thought that he was cooler than me because he was older than me, and thought he could do his job better than me because he was older than me. And I was tired of it. So this lasted like all summer long. It totally ruined my summer. And at some point during the school year, I finally decided I needed to write about it. And so came Michael the song. Now I've got a whole list of like things to talk about here. And none of them are the tea, all right? I'm not telling the story. So, but it does start like, I want to start about like the construction of the chords. So the way that the song is written as far as like chords and feeling and the groove, there are 3 main things that went into that. One of them is going to be maybe a surprise. One of them is no surprise to anybody. And the one that everybody could have anticipated is Billy Joel. This is my big book of Billy, and I've been playing out of it since around 6th grade when I decided that I needed to be a pianist. In this book, I have not enough songs, but the one in particular that I pulled inspiration from for Michael was the song Big Shot, which is this like it's just so groovy and mean, and it drips venom, and I love that. You went uptown riding in your limousine in your fine Park Avenue clothes. You had the Dom Perignon in your hand and you spoon up your nose. Yeah, but when you wake up in the morning with your head on fire and your eyes too bloody to see, go on and cry in your coffee, but don't come bitching to me. Because you had to be a big shot, didn't you? You had to open up your mouth. You had to be a big shot, didn't you? All your friends were so knocked out. You had to have the last word last night. You know everything's about. You had to have the front page bold type. You had to be a big shot last night. Oh. So you know what I'm talking about? We've got this like really venomous, rude bah, bah track going on here, and that was a big inspiration for me, especially just the cutting words that he chooses. This song, if you ever want to study lyric writing and specificity and how that can affect the way that a song hits, I recommend taking a look at Big Shot, but also just Billy Joel in general, because he's amazing. Genius, honestly. So that's one of the two songs that led me to like my original idea of what the song would sound like. The other song will be a surprise to everybody except for my nuclear family, because in high school, this was one of the only songs that I would play on the piano, and I played it over and over. And when I was in high school, these chords meant Jason Mraz. You know, the guy who wrote, I'm yours. But instead, it's this song called The Remedy. It's the exact same chords for the bridge. For the verse. It's the same. I saw fireworks from the freeway. In my hand-closed eyes, I cannot make them go. And 'cause you were born on the 4th of July, freedom rain. Something on the surface, it stinks. I said something on the surface, well, it kinda makes me nervous. Who said that you deserve this? I'm a kind of guy with service. We will cure this dirty old disease. Well, if you got the poison, I've got the remedy. The remedy is the experience. Is this a dangerous liaison? I said the comedy is that it's serious. This is a strange enough new play on words. I said the tragedy is how you're gonna spend the rest of your nights with the light on. So shine the light on all of your friends when it all amounts to nothing in the end. And so those chords are exactly the same. I'm talking on the radio in a crossfire kind of new reality show. And then we can also sing the Michael song. Big boy words like juvenile, baby. 26 in Velcro shoes. Old tattoo across your leg, baby. A picture of a child's cartoon. And and the reason that I straight up lifted those chords is because I was really kind of rushing to get this song out of my body. Oh, I forgot to say, by the way, Happy Mother's Day. I already called my mom. I have to call my grandparents. I know that there's at least one other mommy watching. Happy birthday, Aunt Margie. Sorry, not birthday. I don't know what I'm talking about. Happy Mother's Day, Aunt Margie. I'm sorry. I'm trying so hard to get through all my talking points. I've just got so much to say. Anyway, Happy Mother's Day. We're gonna learn now. At least you know this is live, as Taylor Swift would say. So anyway, I was rushing to get this song out of my body because it was months after the incident had occurred, but one day as I was, making my way anyway, as I was making my way to class in songwriters arranging class, I was I heard this song in my head going, Michael always getting into fights, Michael always trying to be the one that's right. And I something about that just was stuck in me, and I said, I need to hold on to this as much as I can. And I got to class and I scribbled it down on the paper. And then right after that, I went to my directed study where we were, trying to figure out how do I write this song. And I was kind of struggling because I knew what I wanted the words to say and I kind of knew my melody, but I didn't have chords for it. So I was like, okay, well, let's see if these work. And lucky for me, they did, so I kept them. And I'm comfortable admitting this because, and only because, you cannot copyright a chord progression. So that's a little piece of songwriting knowledge right there. Anyway, so another song that really contributed to the feel of our track, and this was something that was not exactly introduced, but suggested to me a bit later on in the writing process, was somebody heard me playing this, especially the chorus, and they said, that sounds really familiar. And I said, what is it? And they said, well, you've got these straight eighth notes in your right hand, and you've got this kind of iconic bass line. It sounds like This Love. And I was like, oh my God. I was so high I did not recognize the fire burning in her eyes, so I didn't control my mind. Whispered goodbye as she got on a plane, never to return again, but always in my heart. Anyway, so that was a really cool moment there, because I realized this isn't only catchy in the verse. I can make this, one of the things that I love about songwriting is taking something you've already heard and bringing it back in a new way. And that is what the particularly skilled at stealing will call innovation. It's not stealing, it's stealing with style. It's falling with style. Just like Buzz Lightyear. Anyway, and then another song that really went into the feel of the chorus was, we've got this thing going on here. If you really isolate that bass line down to its essence, it's actually outlining this thing called a line cliche. And that line cliche has its name, of course, because it's just used in every song since the beginning of time, which is really nifty and once again cannot be copyrighted. And one of my favorite examples of this, and one that left a very big impression on me, as I'm sure anybody could guess, is the song "Bottle It Up" by Sarah Bareilles. She uses this all over her discography. This line cliche. We got started as a flicker, meant to be a flame. Skin has gotten thicker, but it burns the same. I'm still a baby in a cradle, gotta take my first fall. Baby's getting next to nowhere with her back against the wall. Meant to make me happy, make me sad. Wanna make it better, better so bad. Well, save your resolutions for your never new year. There is only one solution I can see here. And I was really happy to use that, but there was something that just wasn't adding up as far as writing this chorus. I needed something stronger than a 5 chord. For those who don't know about Roman numerals used in songwriting and in music in general, each of the notes in a scale is assigned a number, and those are called scale degrees. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, if you're in a minor key, or if you're in a major key, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And so, anyway, each of those chords, each of those scale degrees has a chord that's usually associated with it and will naturally occur in that scale. So, I'm playing a 1 minor when I'm at home, and then there is this chord that is used all over the place is 5, because D is the 5th scale degree in G minor. But I felt that the 5 chord just wasn't giving me enough grit. Hey Grandma, thanks for joining us. I see Mom and Dad are also in the chat, and we got an anti-Semite. The exit is that way. Cool. Anyway. So anyway, the 5 chord really wasn't doing it for me. And I was taking a lot of music theory class at the time that I was writing this, because I was in college at music school. And I had just learned about substituting a 5 chord with a diminished 7 chord. And the reason that that works for all you number nerds out there is that you can have a dominant 7 chord, which is 1, 3, 5, flat 7. And if you put a flat 9 on top of that, it's actually making a diminished chord, a diminished 7 chord. A diminished 7 chord is made up of a stack of minor thirds. Thank you for reporting my anti-Semit troll. I'm really happy that I have the... I'm really glad that I have people who can take care of that for me. All right. Anyway, so this stack of minor thirds is also recognizable as, for those of you who play a lot of video games, the Legend of Zelda sound. Do 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 do. You will hear that all over that soundtrack. So anyway, this diminished 7 creates a much crunchier sound and just brings out a lot more frustration, which is what I was feeling when I was writing this song. I was feeling, you know, Michael always getting into fights, Michael always trying to be the one that's right, burning bridges as he goes to set himself apart, just wasn't strong enough. So I went for burning bridges as he goes to set himself apart. And that, my friends, brought in the crunch that I needed. Hey, we got another Jew for the party. Thank you, Jenny. So anyway, that was my diminished 7 substitution in the chorus, which made me very, very satisfied. Now, so we're still talking a little bit about chords here, and now the pre-chorus doesn't actually sound much like anything that I've identified as far as like other songs that I know have influenced me for this. But I will admit to one moment of intense laziness, and that is that the chords that go in the pre-chorus, C minor 7, G minor 7, A major 7, D7, those are the same exact chords that I use in the bridge, because ain't nothing better than reusing. Reduce, reuse, recycle, right? Especially when you're dealing with, you know, characters that you don't want to have to spend too much cranial capacity on. So what I did do to change things up slightly in the bridge is we've got these chords. You can tell a lot about a man by the way he treats the ones he deems below him. So here we've actually got what's called a suspended chord. And a suspended chord, the best way that I can describe that is the amen that you hear all over hymns and things. And the one chord that we do bring in for this bridge right after that is brand new is the E flat major 7. And the E flat major 7 here is fun for me because this is all it's a brighter chord. Instead of starting again on that C minor chord, we're starting on what would be the major version of that. Like a relative major version of that. And this E flat major 7 is really fun because it's so bright and it feels like, you know, the clouds have parted, the sunlight is coming in, and it's also significant for me because this is the first time in the entire song that I really give a statement about myself. This is the first time when I say, I have learned a lot about you, man. I have learned a lot about you, man, from the shortness of your fuse and the words you like to choose to ignore it when you lose. Hey. So those are the reasons that I love the bridge as far as chordally, and we will be coming back for lyrics. Yeah, who doesn't love a bridge with a good flat 6 major chord? Uncle Bob, I'm glad you're getting something out of this. We love to learn something new every day, even if it's not necessarily in the zone of our lives that we have, decided to devote our college education to. I'm sure that you could bring some of these tips around to the bagels practice, and they would be real thrilled to have a little nerd out sesh. So now there's two other songs that really influenced me as far as sorry, Rosie typed into the chat, is it an in-school suspended chord or an out-of-school suspended chord? Shaquille O'Neal. Well, I don't mean to say anything crazy, but I'm gonna call this an in-school suspended chord, and that's how I beat Shaq. Boom! I put it in the hoop like slam. Anyway, so there's three other songs that kind of put influence into this tune for me. One of them is a song that anybody who was within 5 feet of me through most of college heard a million times, especially any of us who were in Treble Threat, which was the a cappella group that I was in. We sang a song called Time Machine about 2 million times, so no wonder it was on my mind. And it's just got this like boom, clap feeling to it that really makes me feel fierce. You lit the fire, then drank the water. You stamped that door and left me standing all alone. Left me standing all alone. Rewrote the story, we turned the pages, we changed the end like everybody said you would. I should have seen it coming, it should have sent me running. That's what I get for loving you. If I had a time machine and if life was a movie scene, I'd rewind and I'd tell me run. We were never meant to be, so if I had a time machine, I'd go back and I'd tell me run. And so that was another song that really that was really inspiring me to take a more fierce stance on this issue that I was still kind of recovering from, because that summer 2016 really was a rough one. Now we're gonna get into more like lyrical references. So this song, Michael, I've said it a few times before. A lot of the past the whole like original part of the chorus, Michael, I was getting into fights, Michael, I was trying to be the one, that's right. Past that, a lot of my inspiration for individual lines in this song came from a letter. I was in my directed study with my teacher, Sarah Brindell, and she recommended for me, why don't you just write this guy a letter? And I said, I tried that, but I'll do it again. So this song is called, that I just played, is called Time Machine. It's by Ingrid Michaelson. Anyway, so so I wrote this guy a letter so that I could just sort of get out all of my feelings and try to find the most important details that I wanted to write about. I never sent this letter, and it has been deleted from the universe. So it cannot be like, it can't be pulled, and I can't confirm any of this, but I wrote him a letter. And my teacher and I sat down and we went through and we highlighted the most important details that we wanted to put into a song. The most defining moments of my summer. And so this song actually went through a lot of drafts, especially the verses. But the chords basically always stayed the same. Like I told you earlier, I straight up lifted those from a Jason Mraz tune. So we've got this first verse, big boy words like juvenile, baby, 26 in Velcro shoes, bold tattoo across your leg, baby. A picture of a child's cartoon. And the way that we finally got to that format for the verse took a while, because at first I was just like, list every detail about this man. And I think the first draft of the lyrics was, big boy words like juvenile, baby. In New York, this would never fly, baby. Don't try to make this mine, baby. And I was really into just driving home that, like, baby. And I'll tell you why. Of course, it's probably easy enough to assume that the reason that I wanted to drive home the word baby is because he kept on calling me juvenile. But the thing that really inspired me to spend so much time turning the tables and calling him juvenile was a song that I actually heard months before I started writing this song. And it's a song by Melanie Martinez called Alphabet Boy. Melanie Martinez has this persona that she embodies when she's writing and when she's performing called Crybaby. And Crybaby is supposed to be this totally messed up kid. But there's this one tune, Alphabet Boy, that I have interpreted to be about a time when she was in a session with a bunch of songwriters that her label said she needed to be with. And they were, lauding their educational degrees or whatever over her. And she was like, I know how to write. Please stop treating me like a child. And I really identified with that because of my experiences that summer. And I'm not going to sing the whole song because it's another one of those potty mouth tunes, and I don't feel like swearing a lot today. I'm in a pretty good mood. So I'm just going to sing the chorus. But it's okay because the chorus is really the part that drove me to bring in that baby, and it's because of how much she turns around that infantilization and turns around that condescension on him. I'm not a little kid now. Watch me get big now. Spell my name on a fridge now. With all your alphabet toys. You won the spelling bee now. But are you smarter than me now? You're the prince of the playground, little alphabet boy. Ah, 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 ba 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 ba. Ah, 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 ba 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 ba. Ah, 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 ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. And I just loved that. When I heard that song, it was like a real turning point for me as far as whether I was going to take this kind of harassment and absurdity for the whole summer. So Alphabet Boy was a big inspiration for taking this song and really making it hit home in potentially painful ways. So anyway, we get to the verse, and my teacher and I decided, what if we take all these details and put them in a way that's going to present expectation, reality. So we've got big boy words like juvenile. You're 26 and you wear Velcro shoes. But sure, call me juvenile. You've got this bold tattoo on your leg and it's a cartoon. It's not even you're not even pretending that you know Japanese or anything. It's not like one of those letters in another language that you don't understand. It's just a cartoon. That's embarrassing to me. Anyway, that was how I felt at the time. So we've got this expectation versus reality setup. We've got setup, punchline, and that really made the song shine a lot better for me. And this is actually also pretty strange and unusual for me for two more reasons. One of them being that this is one of the least rhyming songs I've ever written. Big boy words like juvenile, baby, 26 and Velcro shoes. Bold tattoo across your leg, baby, picture of a child cartoon. The only things that really rhyme in there, and it's almost barely, are shoes and cartoon. It's really just the rhyming of the vowel sound. So that's highly unusual for me because I love me a good rhyme. And the other thing is that it's a very, very short verse. And I, as you can tell, am very talkative. So this is totally different for me. So then we go over to our pre-chorus. If you wanna be treated like a real man, you can't be forgiven like a child. Flattery will get you nowhere. Everyone knows who you are. Which is another thing where, like, I'm not really rhyming. It's just the openness of the vowel sounds that tricks you into thinking it's a rhyme. Which is a nice little bit of prosody right there. But anyway, the way that I came for the line, everyone knows who you are, came both from experience and from inspiration. So we've got this idea of like, oh my God, this guy thinks that he can just talk his way out of any situation. But how can you do that when everybody already knows what you're like? How's that going to work out for you? The other thing that really inspired me into the exact words that I used there, everyone knows who you are, and the way that I say them comes from a video of Taylor Swift performing on her Fearless tour in like 2009. Swifties, don't come for me. You know I'm one of you, but I think it was 2009. I'm going to be so embarrassed if I got the year wrong. But anyway, on her tour, the closing song, I believe, was Should Have Said No, which is this great tune, you know. And after that second chorus where she's saying, you know, you should have said no, you should have gone home, you should have thought twice before you let it all go, you should have known that word about what you did with her would get back to me. And I should have been there in the back of your mind, shouldn't be asking myself why, shouldn't be begging for forgiveness at my feet. You should have said no, baby, and you might still have me. And actually, this inspiration goes twofold, because that's another place where we're using that, is a fancy word for it, anaphora, which is a type of repetition where you start a sentence the same way and elaborate in a different way each time. Another good example of this is the I have a dream speech. I have a dream that blank. I have a dream that blank. In this case, it's you should have said no. You should have gone home. You should have thought twice before you let it all go. And in the case of my song, it's Michael always getting into fights. Michael always trying to be the one that's right. There's where you get your rhymes. But anyway, so after that second chorus, she goes into kind of a special breakdown that she only did on tour, where she starts, you know, walking around the stage all sassy like, and she goes, whoa, you should have said no, baby. Oh, you should have said no, baby. Oh, you should have said no, baby. Oh, now everybody knows. Oh, you should have said no, baby. Oh, you should have said no, baby. Oh, you should have said no, baby. Oh, now everybody knows. And then she goes into her bridge. And I was like, I'm gonna cop that. Just pluck. But only a little bit. Not everybody knows. Everyone knows who you are. And it's not enough to get lawyers involved. Taylor Swift, I love you. Don't sue me. So, that's what's happening in our pre-chorus. So, let's see. Anyway. So yeah, we just got out of everyone knows who you are. Michael always getting into fights. Michael always trying to be the one that's right. Burning bridges as he goes to set himself apart. And that line there, I believe, was lifted like, I was having a hard time finding a second full line for the chorus, but I believe that line was lifted straight from the letter that I wrote and then deleted. That you burn bridges just to make yourself look special, just to set yourself apart. And I was talking on the phone with my mother this morning, actually. Happy Mother's Day again. Actually, Grandma's here now, so I can tell her Happy Mother's Day as well. I accidentally told Aunt Margie Happy Birthday, but I meant to say Happy Mother's Day. Anyway, so my mother pointed out this lyric this morning and said that it was the one that really stood out to her most. This burning bridges as you go to set yourself apart. And I'm pretty proud of that image myself. Like, I really like that idea of him just, stomping on everybody on his way up just so that he can shine the brightest. When in reality, he's burnt those bridges and they will not be able to see him in the way that he wants them to see him. So that's nifty, ain't it? I was trying to find a fight. Michael always trying to be the one that's right. Well, age is not maturity, muscles aren't security, and cheating doesn't make you smart. I really wanted to drive home that idea of false maturity and how age and maturity do not equate to each other. I believe very firmly that you could be 70 and not necessarily have the wisdom that you think you do. You could be 15 and definitely know what the true meaning of love is, And this guy thought that because he was 26 years old, he was smarter than me. I disagreed. I was 19 at the time, and I just felt that he didn't quite have the same perspective that I did on the matters at hand. Anyway, as far as muscles aren't security, I'm also a firm believer that physical strength is not the same as emotional strength. I think that there are a lot of people out there who compensate for the fact that they don't know how to deal with their emotions and their thoughts and their feelings. And so they will instead, compensate using brute force, physical intimidation. And I think that those things are not the same. And I think that one is not necessarily going to outweigh the other as far as importance in arguments. I think that, sure, it's important to be able to throw someone down during a thumb wrestle or an arm wrestle, but you also need to be able to spot their weaknesses and be quicker and also have compassion. Because compassion is going to be the only thing that will break down the walls between you. Think about that. Anyway, cheating doesn't make you smart, of course, referring to, if you cheat on all your tests, you're never going to learn the things on the tests. Why do you think that'll help you in the long run? No further comment. Second verse. New York, born and bred and worked, baby. Waltzing like you own the place. So professional, it hurts, baby. When I get blamed for your mistakes. I was having a little bit of trouble with this verse, and Andy will proudly tell you that he's responsible for the line "so professional it hurts." And honestly, he can take that credit. As far as the New York born and bred and worked baby waltzing like you own the place, this guy was, this guy in question was really touting that whole, I've worked in New York, I'm so much better than you thing. And we were like, come on, man, we've all had this job longer than you have. Stop it. Get some help. And anyway, he walks in, pretends that he owns the place. We've already been here several summers. This is his first year on the job. It doesn't matter anymore. Then we've got "so professional it hurts." Andy will happily tell you that I was pacing back and forth in his apartment trying to figure out how do I describe how obnoxious this guy is. And he's like, oh, what about "so professional it hurts"? And I was like, brilliant. Done. You got it. So we got "so professional it hurts, baby. When I get blamed for your mistakes." Kind of self-explanatory. Then we go back into the pre-chorus. Mr. Taylor called me out for being lazy for actually not changing the words to this pre-chorus, but I stand by my decision because it's a very wordy tune already as far as I'm concerned. So, the bridge. You can tell a lot about a man by the way he treats the ones he deems below him. was also straight lifted from my letter. Just like, it's just a sentence, which I'm not used to doing. I almost always will like end up doing these fragments or like, or take a fragment, find a new way to say that fragment, make them all rhyme. This was just stick the sentence on the board, go, which is so unusual for me, and I'm really proud of it. And I've learned a lot about you, man, from the shortness of your fuse and the words you like to choose to ignore it when you lose. That line is a lot more in following the way that I normally write, which is rhyme after rhyme after rhyme. So you can kind of tell they were not written in the same moment. But I think that they ended up working very well because we first got this very lengthy sentence, and then after that we have, after this lengthy sentence with lots of words, we have something that's more familiar and comfortable in terms of like, it almost repeats some of it, and then it uses these rhymes to make us feel at home. Speaking of feeling at home, this thing called a drop chorus. This thing called a drop chorus is something where you bring back the chorus after a bridge. Usually the bridge ends up, expanding and exploding a little bit, and we drop down like we snapped a rubber band. And this drop chorus is an opportunity to just get us ready, get us tense, raise that discomfort, and then bring us back in for the grand finale. So this drop chorus in the case of Michael is, Michael, I was getting into fights. Michael, I was trying to be the one, that's right. Burning bridges as he goes to set himself apart. And that brings us over to the last chorus. And one more reason that I love drop choruses is because I really like to use them before I change the words of the last chorus. Michael, I was getting into fights. Michael, always trying to be the one, that's right. Age is not maturity, muscles aren't security. Yelling makes you louder, but it doesn't make you right. Strutting isn't chivalry, sex is not ability, and cheating doesn't make you smart. I'm changing the words to our final chorus just to keep you on your toes. And I've also just had so much more I wanted to say. Hey, what's shaking, what's cracking, Donnie DeVito? Good to see you. Anyway, so I'm changing up the words in this final chorus. I'm saying yelling makes you louder, but it doesn't make you right is definitely the most important thing I've learned from watching reality TV. Strutting isn't chivalry. I think, to me, that means, you can call yourself a gentleman, but that doesn't mean you're a gentleman. You can say you're a nice guy, but you're not necessarily nice. Because what you say immediately after I tell you no really describes the person you are. And if you ask a question, you gotta be prepared for the answers that you might get. Strutting isn't chivalry, sex is not ability. I don't really know a whole lot of people who live in the Northeast who disagree with me on this one, which is to say, genders are equal. Yay! But apparently there are some people who still disagree with that, and for them I have sympathy and this song. Then we come back with the lyrics we already know. Age is not maturity, muscles not security. Cheating doesn't make you smart. And I ended on a beautiful little G minor 7/9, which just makes me feel complete. So that's the overview of what went into writing Michael. Hey, Gibson's here too. Hi, Gibson. And Hannah Hunt. Wowee. I don't know. Have we met, Hannah? I don't know if we know each other. Well, either way, that's really exciting. Thanks for coming. Jeez. So I figured now I could just ERA. Eternal Ranch Authority. Yeah, all right, whatever you say. I figure I'll just play the full song now so that you can hear it and sort of think about the things that I just told you about. So let's go. We start off with those chords from Jason Mraz on the Remedy. But with more of the attitude from Big Shot. Oh, that's right, you one of Andy's friends. Hi, Hannah. Big boy, words like juvenile, baby. 26 in Velcro shoes. Old tattoo across your leg, baby. A picture of a child's cartoon. If you wanna be treated like a real man, you can't be forgiven like a child. Flattery will get you nowhere. Everyone knows who you are. Michael always getting into fights. Michael always trying to be the one that's right. Burning bridges as he goes to set himself apart. Michael always getting into fights. Michael always trying to be the one that's right. Well, age is not maturity, muscles aren't security, and cheating doesn't make you smart. Hey! New York, born and bred and worked, baby. Waltzing like you own the place. So professional, it hurts, baby. When I get blamed for your mistakes. If you wanna be treated like a real man, you can't be forgiven like a child. Flattery will get you nowhere. Everyone knows who you are. Michael always getting into fights. Michael always trying to be the one that's right. Burning bridges as he goes to set himself apart. Michael always getting into fights. Michael always trying to be the one that's right. Well, age is not maturity, muscles not security, and cheating doesn't make you smart. You can tell a lot about a man by the way he treats the ones he deems below him. And I have learned a lot about you, man, from the shortness of your fuse and the words you like to choose to ignore it when you lose. What did you guys think about the bop bars at this point? I love the bop 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 bars that are happening on the official recording. All right, fine, I'll get to the song. Michael always getting into fights. Michael always trying to be the one that's right. Burning bridges as he goes to set himself apart. Hey, Michael always getting into fights. Michael always trying to be the one that's right. Age is not maturity, muscles aren't security. Yeah, that makes you louder, but it doesn't make you right. Strutting isn't chivalry, sex is not ability. Cheating doesn't make you smart. Woo! Ha ha ha! Oh, the Equal Rights Amendment. I know about that. Yeah, I'm a fan of the Equal Rights Amendment. Rock on. Yay, thanks for the hands. Yeah. As I proved earlier, my brain is running at minimal capacity as far as conversation goes. Will Michael recognize himself if he happens to hear this? God, I hope not. I've been a little stressed out about that, honestly. But I like to think that I meant so little to him that he likely won't care or notice. Look at all those little emojis. Thanks, guys. So we've got about 9 minutes left to hang out here, so I'm going to give you my little pitch before I sing one or two final songs. My little pitch being, did you see my pin? It's a little mailbox, and it has my name on it. If you want one of these, I sell them for $7, and then you can be an official member of People Who Own My Pin Club. Other things that I have that you can ask me for are stickers that have the artwork from Michael on them, created by the amazing Holly Olmos, who is the same person that taped, edited, directed the music video that I'm so in love with. God, she really knocked it out of the park. I'm so thankful. And thank you guys for watching and listening to it so much. Oh my God. Both like streams on Spotify and like watches on YouTube were at 1,200 some before I started the stream, and that's bonkers. So thank you. Oh my God. So I've got these stickers to commemorate the release because it's been a long time coming. The last thing that I have is a couple extras of this bad boy. The tattoo that we put on Mason's leg. So if you want a tattoo, I'm more than happy to send you one for 25 cents. I don't know. I don't know how I'm doing this, but I don't know what the price is at this point. I made some temporary tattoos. If you are wanting to get any of these, or if you would rather just donate and not worry about the postal service, I have a PayPal link in the description of this video. And I thank you so much for, supporting your local artist when we are in the middle of pandemic and the living is easy. Anyway, so I figure as we hurtle forward through these unknown times, I'll sing one kind of heartfelt, sweet song, and then one party tune. Sound good? Sounds good to me. A lot of my friends from Berkeley, which is the college that I went to, a lot of my friends actually graduated this week, which is really amazing for them. Jenny is one of them. We got Jenny, we got Alyssa, let's see, Julia graduated this week. Lauren graduated this week. Gosh, just so many amazing, incredibly talented people who I love and I'm so thankful to have in my life. So I'm going to sing a little song about graduation, and it's called I'll Be Back. I wrote it, or at least I wrote most of it when I was on a trip to Nashville. We tossed our decorated caps. I caught your eye across the sea of white and red. It filled my chest. And once they'd cleared away the field, and all our peers had driven off to live their lives, we feared we would fade. 'Cause a pinky isn't always worth the finger that was wrapped around the bend. Let's see. A promise isn't always worth the pinky that was wrapped around the bend. There we go. No, it ended unexpectedly, but look at that, we made it to the end. So when you're lonely for a friend, when you're wishing for an answer, when you're worried that you're falling off the track, I'll be ready for the call. I'll come running to your side, and I'll be back. I'll be back. When you're waiting for the drop, when you're balanced on a shoestring, when you're scared that you'll reveal it's all an act, I'll be ready. I'll come running. I'll be back. You're gonna work for the police, and I'm gonna play across the world from stage to stage. The trails will blaze, and though your brain will often lie, you're gonna make a world of difference in my eyes, and I will celebrate you every time. Oh, congratulations, Jossie, too. I'm sorry, I forgot. I was thinking about Berkeley anyway. Now the you down the aisle. Though we've changed and grown, we grow and change and give and take and learn just how to hold somebody's heart. When you're lonely for a friend, when you're wishing for an answer, when you're worried that you're falling off the track, I'll be ready for the call. I'll come running to your side and I'll be back. I'll be back. When you're waiting for the drop, when you're balanced on a shoestring, when you're scared that you'll reveal it's all an act, I'll be ready. I'll come running. I'll be back. Though we laughed, we were back on those bleachers. I don't mind exploring futures if it means I grow with you. So when you're lonely for a friend, or worried that you're falling off the track, I'll be ready for the call. I'll come running to your side and I'll be back. When you're waiting for the drop, when you're balanced on a shoestring, when you're scared that you'll feel it's all an act, I'll be ready. I'll come running. I'll be back. Awesome. Oh God, and Lily's graduating soon too. Oh my God. Everybody's so old. In a beautiful way. No, it's great because you should get that. I'm a firm believer that, and I use that phrase a lot, you're only old once, as Dr. Seuss says. So I say, get it out of the way early, and then you don't have to be old anymore. I felt old a little while ago, and now I'm young and sprightly like a little spring chicken again. Thank you for the hands and hearts. It's really, really so nice that I get to spend my Sunday afternoons playing music with the people that I love. And I wish that we could all sing in person. I don't know when we're going to be able to do that again, but hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Thanks, you guys. So, should I call it there or should I do one last tune? It's all up to you guys. Because I noticed that we have reached the 5 o'clock hour. So it's up to what you want. And I will sit here until the lag catches up with the chat. There we go. All right. It seems the consensus of our chat is that we are singing along at home, and we're going to have just a teeny weeny bit more. And Jeopardy's theme song does not count as that final tune. Sounds good to me. Gibson, you have yourself a deal. That song was a banger. Don't go into the final house. All right, one more song. One last kiss. It never felt like this. How about, and here's one that I should have been thinking about this while I was playing the Jeopardy theme song, shouldn't I? Well, here's one that everybody can sing along to, whether or not they know my discography. Everybody knows Love Song by Sarah Bareilles, right? I love that tune. It's a good party bop. Used to play this one every day in high school, too. for a while. The breathing gets harder, even I know that. Made room for me, but it's too soon to see if I'm happy in your hands. I'm unusually hard to hold on to. Blank stares at blank pages. No easy way to say this. You mean well, but you make this hard on me. I'm not gonna write you a love song 'cause you asked for it, 'cause you need one. You see, I'm not gonna write you a love song 'cause you tell me it's make or break in this. If you're on your way, I'm not gonna write you to stay. For yeah, but leaving, I'ma need a better reason to write you a love song today. I've learned the hard way that they all say things you wanna hear. My heavy heart sinks deep down under you, and your twisted words, your help just hurts. You are not what I thought you were. Hello to high and dry. Convince me to please you. Make me think that I need this too. I'm trying to let you hear me as I am. I'm not gonna write you a love song 'cause you asked for it, 'cause you need one. You see, I'm not gonna write you a love song 'cause you tell me it's make or break in this. If you're on your way, I'm not gonna write you to stay. For yeah, but leaving, I'm gonna need a better reason to write you a love song today. Promise me you'll leave the light on to help me see. Daylight, my guide gone. 'Cause I believe there's a way you can love me because I say I won't write you a love song 'cause you asked for it. Oh, you need one. You see, I'm not gonna write you a love song 'cause you tell me it's make or break in this. So is that why you wanted a love song? 'Cause you asked for it. Oh, you need one. You see, oh, 'cause you tell me it's make or break in this. If you're on your way, I'm not gonna write you to stay. If your heart is nowhere in it, I don't want it for a minute, babe. I'll walk the 7 seas when I believe that there's a reason to write you a love song today. And in case you were wondering what was going on in my mind during that, big boy words like juvenile, baby. 26 in Velcro shoes. Boy, words like juvenile, baby. Same chords again. Oh my God. My life and career is a lie. Thanks for sticking around with me and playing music with me and, singing along and or sitting and listening or whatever it is you like to do. Thanks for hanging out. I'm here having a blast. My name is Juliana Parker. Y'all know that. We're going to do it again next week with another theme. I'm thinking I've got something in mind for it. I'll let you know a lot sooner this time. Thank you for loving me and my song and being so supportive and showing it to every person you know, because, oh my God, I never imagined this. So I'll see you next time. Thank you. I love you. Mwah.